All right, guys, it's time for our special bonus fight. Now, this next fight is a highly anticipated rematch that's going to take place probably Super Bowl weekend in 2012, this upcoming Super Bowl, a bout between Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen. Now, we're going to start things off with John Luther first. Now, John, you and I, a couple weeks back, had a conversation on Twitter, along with Luca from Sherdog as well, and you guys basically asked me what you thought the opening line would be. I kind of threw it out there on Twitter a little bit. I said probably close to 3-1. Well, since then, actually, I heard a European outlet has posted the odds, and it was around 3-1. But I've also taken some time and gone over through the odds, and I made my line and coming out with it actually right now. So we are breaking this line, even though it might be out at some places, but we're going to kind of break, I should say, the real line here. And John's going to get first crack at it. It's going to be minus 240. The comeback's going to be plus 190 on Chael Sonnen. Anderson Silva is going to be the favorite. John, what's your take and what's your bet?
I think Anderson is deserving to be the favorite in this one, but you know what? I'm picking Chael Sonnen, and here's why. I think that if you look at their last fight, I think that Chael Sonnen actually has, believe it or not, fewer holes in his game than Anderson Silva does. I think Anderson is extremely susceptible to the takedown. I think that's going to be something that, well, at least if your name is Chael Sonnen, then you can take Anderson down. And I think that, he's just not going to have enough time to work on that. Chael's been doing this his whole entire life, whereas Chael, he just needs to patch up his submission defense. Against Brian Stann, we saw that he's really, really working on his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, even though he may not admit it. He doesn't want to give credits to the Brazilians too much there, but I think Chael Sonnen, I really like him as an underdog, and if he can replicate the exact same performance without getting submitted and actually advancing his ground game on the ground and getting better position, I like him in this fight. I think Chael Sonnen's going to take it, and I'm going with the plus money on it.
All right, so you're going to take plus 190 on the underdog Chael Sonnen, 500 to win 950, and we're going to throw it over to Fight Ghost and see if he agrees or disagrees with John's bet.
This is going to be a fantastic fight, and I can't wait for the build-up. I mean, who would have thought we'd be in this position years ago when Chael was tapping out to Philo in the WEC? This is going to be great, and hopefully it will be Super Bowl weekend. I definitely respect John's take, and if Chael beats me here, it won't be the first time that Chael's beaten me. But a couple factors. What makes it even tougher is that Sonnen's performance against Stann. I did bet Stann in that fight as a small wager, and Sonnen was tremendously impressive in that fight. I mean, he dismantled him. So it makes me think once or twice. But Dana said recently that Anderson absolutely hates Sonnen. I believe that to be true. Was he injured in the first fight? I'm going to believe him. I'm going to believe Soares and Anderson and say, yes, that he was injured. I think his mobility will be better on the feet in this fight. If this fight goes to a decision, John Luther will be cashing that ticket because Sonnen will be the winner. But I think that Anderson Silva is going to be the first person to stop Chael Sonnen cold, third-round knockout, Spider for the win.
All right, so you guys are actually splitting on this one, and you're going to go with the favorite in Anderson Silva, $1,200 to win $500. A very competitive fight, and man, I'm really curious to see where this line is going to go because the original line was close to $500 to $600 at one point for Anderson Silva against Chael Sonnen. You could have got Chael Sonnen around 400 odds, plus 400. So now it's, drastic change. It's a half of that line. And again, the public thinks that Chael Sonnen could possibly come in and do what he did in the first match. Now, is that going to happen? I'm not sure. We're going to have to see how that plays out. Hopefully, Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, I do want to say, Nick, that another thing I wanted to add to that is, like I said, if he can replicate that performance, and there's a good chance he can, that's a great price for Sonnen. But just from a gambler's perspective, there's a couple guys I won't wager against. One of them in boxing is Floyd Mayweather. And in the UFC right now, it's John Jones, Dominic Cruz, and I'm going to bet Anderson Silva until he loses.
Okay, well, there you go. From a professional gambler's perspective, you got to listen to it and take that advice as well. So thanks, guys. Another great fight lined up, and we're looking forward to it. Early 2012. All right, guys, great job on today's Odds Breaker segment. We're going to start off with Fight Goes first. Anything you'd like to say before we let you go? Any shout-outs?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. It's great talking odds with you and John. It's always a pleasure. Fight_Ghost is the Twitter handle. I love talking wagering and odds with people, so follow me there. And listen to John on Beatdown. He does a great job. And just remember, guys, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Good luck with your wagers.
All right, Fight Ghost, really appreciate it. And we'll throw it over to John Luther. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
If you want to listen to my stuff, I'm on the Sherdog Radio Network Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I do Beatdown there. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/JohnLutherMMA, John without an H.
All right, guys, thanks again for coming on the show. Looking forward to having you back on.